Welcome to Attican Plays Rise of Industry. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to part 4 of our first playthrough on Rise of Industry using the startup level of difficulty. And just to recap, as much for me as it is for you, in part 1, we started out down here with a business in Sun City. We had the option of either going on with targeting a diner in Buffalo Gap. That's where the map actually pointed us when we started. But we decided to go down here to Sun City because the full permit to build in this region was more expensive than Buffalo Gap. And Sun City had a diner which had waffles. It sells waffles, and waffles are a high-priced item. You can see this $1.49 million Tier 3 item. You get great pricing for it, and you can make a lot of money if you can work your way to it. So our target was to get the waffles in Sun City, but we didn't have enough money to start out. You only have $5 million, and and your profit margins are very tight because you run a little lower prices and much higher upkeep than you would in normal mode. So we started out with one little dough factory, one flour factory, some wheat fields, and some water, and started a little dough business running into the diner because the diner, of course, also sells dough. So we used that to keep us going for a while, and we kept building and doing a couple contracts, very careful to not do contracts that were going to hurt us, that we wouldn't be able to do. And then we eventually were able to open up a loan, and because by continuing to do stuff with Sun City, we raised our influence up to get a decent rate on a loan, and we used that loan to open up this first business over here, first big business, our Tier 3 waffle business over here. So this will supply us with one waffle every 30 days. Our demand in Sun City is 2 waffles every 30 days or 1 every 15 days. So it takes 2 of these sets in order to hit that demand. So later on, in our last episode, if you will, we built this over here, which is a duplication of this. It's the waffle business over here. And we also did a little logistics. We ran a little truck route from here to here, which allows us to quickly and efficiently and cheaply move our waffles from this location into Sun City to the diner. And now we are starting to make money at a big pace. We actually had to open up 2 big loans in order to get all this done. And now we made money at such a good clip that we went in right at the end of the last episode and closed out all our loans. So we are debt free. We've even paid off our starter loan. So now we have a really nice looking deal here where our expenses are pretty much strictly what our buildings and our vehicles cost us. And we don't have any other things hitting us against our money, and we're making really good money because the waffles are so expensive. You get such good money for the waffles. And since we have 2 setups, we can, when they're flowing like this, and look at this, everything nice and green. This means that everybody's running efficiently. All these businesses are running at 100%. That's beautiful. We're going to pump out waffle every 30 days here, or waffle every 30 days here. That nets out to 2 going in here every 30 days, which is just what we need. We're pumping out the same thing with the dough. We've got enough dough coming in here to cover our dough requirements. So we're maxing out our dough and our waffles in Sun City. So life is good. Now, at the end of the last one, I said, we're probably going to go up here. We're going to go up here because we kept talking about berry pies, because that's how we actually were going to start. We were going to start with berry pies, targeting berry pies up here in Buffalo Gap, doing the same thing that we ended up doing in Sun City, but with berry pies as our in-state target. But I have kind of looked around and said, there's something else going on here too. We have, Sun City has grown. It's 345,000 people now. We've got our 100 influence, and there's a home goods shop and a liquor store. And we also, because we got our headquarters here in this nice region, if we do the view where we can see the resources, look at this. We have coal and iron ore. Now that gives us the opportunity to make steel, which would help us with some of our home goods. But what I'm really thinking of is I love the liquor stores. Next to diners, my second favorite is a liquor store. So we have the opportunity to have my two favorite industries or businesses, shops, right here in the same city. We still have plenty of space to build just in this region. So we don't even have to spend money to pay for going out of region. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to propose a change of plans to our board of directors, and since I am the entire board, I'm going to approve that plan, and we are going to switch over and target something in the liquor store. So here's a liquor store, and what we want to get, the two biggies in the liquor store, they're all pretty good. I think we could make money on every one of these. The wine is a little tougher. It's not very hard to make. The others I think we would make a profit, but where we would definitely go would be brandy and barley whiskey. Those are, if you can see, they pay around $9.74 average for barley, $1 million average for brandy. So I'd love to do brandy. Now brandy has a catch. You got to have coal, but we have coal in this region. So let's go out to our handy dandy spreadsheet and go from berry pies to brandy. Sorry, that song is popping in my head. I don't worry, I won't sing it. All right, so let's see. What would it take for us to do a brandy industry? And how many do we really need? I forgot to check I didn't notice the demand. It is 1 per 15. So if we're looking at brandy, we would need 2 to completely do it out. So for 14 million, we could actually max out our brandy. But we're going to do it the same way. We're going to build one complete tier 3 setup around a single warehouse, and we're going to need to put, if we're going to do it like that without moving stuff around, and by the way, I'll make sure that I do at least 1 or 2 where I'm actually moving stuff around so you can see how that works. But again, I want to build a nice tight one with our single warehouse. So we're going to need to do some research that's going to be expensive. And you know what? I'm talking myself out. I just talked myself out of this because I forgot about the research. We've already, thinking that we were going to go do the berry pies, already committed and did the berry pie research. So let me go look at the tree and confirm. We've already spent the $5.6 million to do berry pies. So by golly, we need to go make berry pies first before we go into something else. So the liquor, see, we would still have $5.6 million to do liquor. We would need $400,000 for the wine, a couple $100,000 for the grapes, plus in order to do the brandy, you also need, let's see, what is it? What's the big deal here? Oh, we need glass. We would have to research glass and use that coal and some sand to make our glass, and so we would have additional research on that. So okay, after all that, the board of directors said, Attican, that was a really stupid idea. We're going to go up here and go ahead and do our thing in Buffalo Gap, because we won't have to wait. We can just spend the money. We got 10.3 million and we're debt free, so this is nice. So what we can do here is buy a full build permit in this area in Buffalo Gap. You'll notice we even have coal up here. We have coal and oil and fish. A little coal down here, some more fish, and we kind of don't care. All right, so what do we got here? We've got berry pies. They want 1 every 15 days of berry pies. All right, and the nice thing is we can already do all of this stuff, and we know how to build this out. So let's pick a spot. We're going to target having 2 of these. So let's pick spots where we could expand and do 2. And I think the obvious place, because I think the diner is right, yeah, there it is. The diner's right here on this end. So we can have, if we build out here, we can have a nice short straight shot into the diner, have easy, profitable a line going in there, and we could do a berry pie industry here and maybe one maybe one up here or maybe one over here, but let's just build one right here. Let's just use this water down here to feed our warehouse, set up our warehouse far enough back that we can get a few industries in here and run a line straight to that diner. In fact, how do you get to that diner in the city? Oh, you go in and you go around this way. So we're going to come out of that road right there. So we're just going to build a road that comes right straight out of that. Well, if I can get it to work correctly. There we go. So that's going to be our straight line shot into Buffalo Gap for Brandy. Or sorry, Buffalo Gap for berry pies. There we go. If I speak slowly, I can get it right. Okay. Let's open up some space. Let's go with our water first. We need 10 water, so we'll need 2 siphons with 5 each. So the key is to make sure we put them here where they can get 5. And one thing I would suggest to developers I would like to see is when I place a water siphon like this, it would be really nice if I could see what it's actually capable of getting. Now, I can visualize it by looking here and here along the shore to see where I've got 2 spaces of kind of reasonable shoreline, but it'd be nice if I could just see those, because I know that's a pretty good spot. Should be right there, should be good. Now when I click it, see how you get those? It'd be nice if you got those beforehand so you could really see if you're using a good spot. So what I'm going to do is go build this way, and then the second one will use these over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. And I seem to be having a little trouble with my mouse. I've noticed I'm starting to have that little stutter with the mouse. It may be me, it may be my mouse, it may be the game. I'm not sure what's going on. Come on. But we get that clicking sound ad nauseum. So now we need another one of those. So let's duplicate it and bring it around here. And if we put it right there, we should have no problem getting 5, and we won't. Let's go over here if we can, because this isn't going to be a good space for farms or anything else. So 1, 2. Let's go right up close to it. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we want to situate a warehouse, and it doesn't have to be in range. Technically, it could be a little outside of range, and we could just ship it, but I'd rather just have it in range. And I want to be able to build some building. Oh boy, this is, again, it's going to get tight. That should get it. Let's see if it does. Yes, okay. So we got both of them. And I can't help it. I have to make my square around the warehouse. And I think I'm going to stay down here and leave some good space for farms and stuff. Good deal. All right, this should work beautifully. So we've got water. We need 9 wheat and 5 berries. So no problem there. So we'll put 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll put 5 wheat in here. 1, and we're not too close to the city, but we're getting, that's pretty close. We don't want to get any closer than that. And we need 1 more of those. Okay, that gives us our 9 wheat, 10 water, 5 berries. Let's see how many space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8, so we're going to want to stack them this way. Or are we? No, this way. 5 and 5. Okay. The fields are, I think, 5 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and we need a little research to add to our plantations. First time we've used them. Plantations plus 2. Okay. And we add 1, 2. Now we've got wheat, we've got berries, we've got water. We'll have 4 dough, 4 flour, and berry pies, but we will have those momentarily. We're going to watch the warehouse and gather up some stuff, and also we're spending our money like crazy, so we're going to accumulate some money while this goes along. We may look at, we want to watch the trucks that come from this to make sure they can get back here before their next cycle is complete. And they really can't quite, so we're going to give them a shorter route. And this is an interesting little thing that probably should be changed. If we watch them now, they'll probably go back the same way. Yeah, they'll keep using that route. So what we're going to have to do with them, I think, is put them on manual so they don't have a destination, and then put them back on automatic, and hopefully they're still going to go the same way. Oh well. Now 6 waffles to Atmetlock. They'll pay us a pretty good price, so we could make more on those 6 waffles than we could make in Sun City. So that makes that, and how long we have? Plenty of time. Let's accept that deal, just because we can make more money. Now see, we're going to interrupt our waffle business, sort of, our deliveries to Sun City, but that's okay. We're going to make more money. So I'm going to, I think the easiest way to do it, we could use the truck, and we could even buy a logistical permit and transfer them that way. But I think if we just take this guy here and say, we want you to fulfill our contract. And we want you to fulfill our contract. Now that should take care of our waffle contract. In the meantime, we'll get back to what we're interested in up here. And we'll pin that so it doesn't go away every time I start hitting the escape key. All right, we're starting to get berries. We're starting to get wheat. Let's just get a little more and get ahead a little bit. Okay, we're looking good now. Now we can put in our flour business. And I think we can just go back here a ways. Okay. And let's start making flour. All right, good. Got a good flour business going. Now let's add in our dough factories. There's our dough factories. As soon as we start seeing some dough, we will throw in our berry pies. And you can see we're starting to deliver our waffles. Down to 300,000 because we're spending a lot of money doing this stuff and not making any money on it. And we're not delivering waffles, so we really are spending our money right now. We may even have to pause. We're going to have to take out a little loan to get us over the top here. So go back to our headquarters. We'll make sure we don't get negative here. Let's take out we don't need much because we're going to finish off this waffle contract and have let's just bump it, take it down to 5 million, it'll be good. And we'll just do a 36-month loan, so that'll be great. Okay, now we've got some cash to operate to get us through that contract. And once we finish that contract, we will take a hard look at that other contract that has popped up. Building all this out at the same time you're running a delivery that's keeping you from getting any waffle profits is, you know, risky timing, I guess you could say. Got plenty of berries. We want to see some dough. There we go. And we'll go berry pies, and this one will deliver on manual directly to the Buffalo Gap Diner. And go. Okay. Finished our contract, got a buku bucks. So we can, now let's go ahead and get rid of that little bridge loan we took out. Okay. So we got we're 10 million to the good. We finished the contract, and now we've got this, oh, the other contract expired. So, all right, we need to go back to delivery to the truck. He needs to deliver to our Waffles 2 truck. And you need to deliver directly to the diner. Okay, now we're back in business. Everything kept running at 100%. You can see still how it's nice and smoothly everything's running because our ratios are correct. Now let's go up here and see how we're doing on our berries. It'll take a while for all the water to settle out and get to the point where everybody's happy with the water, because the water is being used by 4 dough, 2 wheat farms, and a berry farm. But eventually we'll get there to where that's 100% too. So let's see, we've got 10 million. We're going to build our other berry pies here real soon, but we want to run this up and let it finish off first. Make sure I want to see berry pies coming out of there. There we go. That looks better. And let's see if there's any overages. Yeah, the berries have a little overage. I thought so. Let's just see, is it possible? It would be awesome if they take berries in Buffalo Gap. They do not. They do not. Does anybody? Sun City does. Nah, it's not worth it. Okay, now we've got 3 tier 3. We've got a couple of waffles running in Sun City. We've got berry pie running in Buffalo Gap. And of course, we want another berry pie because we've already done that research. We know they're extremely profitable. And we know we could use a grand total of 2 a month going in there, and we can only make 1 a month with this setup. So, would we want to try to double up this and save the space? No, we would not. We want to follow our procedure and build another one. And I'm seeing a really good spot for one is right out there. So we could build one right out here, grab our water here, put our plants in here, our crops, just like that, more or less. And build another one out here. And we're making money so fast now that we can just go ahead and build this. In fact, I can just let it run on slow. I'm usually either fast forward or nothing, but we can just let it kind of mosey along while we do this. Maybe we'll make some extra money. So we know we need 10 water. We might even push it out that way. No? Okay, there's our 10 water. Now, where do we want our warehouse? That looks like a nice spot right there. And we've got another one of our little road problems here. And there we have water. Miscalculated there, but let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Ooh, I was afraid that one wasn't going to fit. We've got a blizzard going, which is slowing down our roads, reducing building production, and increasing our upkeep. So we've got to deal with the blizzard. Let's see, I've been ignoring our money, but it looks like it's going up faster than I'm spending it. So we made a profit, even though I spent a couple million in construction, so good deal. So again, we want to watch our warehouse and let it get some berries and wheat in there before we move on to flour. Let's speed things up. And we got plenty of flour, so we can move on. Won't fit. Okay, there's our flour business. And I keep looking down here and just checking that number, and it keeps going up, so that's a good thing. Everything's smooth down here. All right, we're getting flour, so let's put in our dough. One, two, three, four. And once we get some dough, we'll put in our berry pie factory and set it to deliver to the diner. And we could do a truck route here, but not going to. We'll make sure it's going to run properly, but it should be fine. This one's excellent. It's right next to it. Okay. Okay, there's two Berry Pie Industries, or modules, however you want to think of it. This one's starting to green up better. And we got too many berries. We're overproducing berries by the rate of one field, because we're overproducing. The way I've got this spreadsheet set, when it says a half, that means a half of a field. In the case of berries, for if it said half a doe, it'd be half a factory too much. So we've got half a field too much on the berries on each side. So we've got the equivalent of one field of berries that we don't really have to have. And we could have them shipped off somewhere if we wanted to. Everything's still smooth as silk in Sun City, and it'll just stay that way basically because the ratios are right. This will be smooth with you know, a little excess berries once in a while. Okay. Now we can start building up goodwill. 15 wheat to Clearview. Well, that's right there, so that one's easy. We'll go here. We'll go we're just going to put them all on it and get it done. And go. Oh man, our money is just too fast now. Okay, slow down for a minute. What do we want to do next? What do they got up here? Oh, they got a liquor store here too. And do they take brandy? Yes, they do. So I think you get the idea. Once we get through that first tough, you know, that part one, the tough phase of surviving, and get to the point where you can leverage your loans and leverage your strong relationships and get good rates on your loans and all that good stuff, then you can build your nice tier 3 businesses, and then you want to max them out. So we're maxing out waffles in Sun City. We are maxing out berry pies in Buffalo Gap. We've also got our little dough business running, and I mean, we could build a little dough business in Buffalo Gap, but we're not going to mess with anything. We're only doing tier 3s from now on. That dough business, we're keeping that just almost for sentimental reasons. It does make a profit, and it got us started, so we want to keep it. And the other thing I'm going to do, just for decorative purposes, obviously this doesn't have to be done because we haven't done it so far, but we are going to connect our headquarters. Oh, another note, any developer who happens to see this, the user interface, the way if I click this and want to build, I always want to build right right where this is. It's always in my way. It seems like every time I want to build anything, whatever menu pops up, it's in my way. So now we've got a nice connected headquarters. Very crucial we do that. Okay, so looking awfully good here now. We could just stop right here and say, hey, you know what, this is, we got it. And we do. We got, once you get these tier 3s and you start getting multiple ones, I mean, look at the cash. It's just coming in spite of our blizzards and everything else. We're making money. I wish we had some kind of profit sheet so I could really see this thing here. And I mentioned this before, when you reload, you lose your year's worth of data. So I don't know. Let's just see. Have we been at this a year? Yeah, we've been long enough. So we did 3.4 million in dough. Let's not do the show all. Let's just do ours. 3.4 million in dough. Our tier 3 waffles, we did 35 million. Our berry pies, of course, we're just getting them started, but we did 17 million. We probably had about a half year of that. So they'll probably come out close to the 35 million. So we'll be probably between those two tier 3 businesses doing about 70 million in sales each year. And we don't sell any of our other stuff, I don't think, do we? No. Okay, so looking real good. Now we could wrap it up right here, or we could throw in some brandy, or we could go see what other trouble we could get into. I think I'm inclined to kind of stop right here. Let's just run it until that contract clears, and then we'll reset our wheat farms to make sure they're right, and so we have a good clean place to stop, and we'll shut down this one, and then I'm going to go out and play a little bit on normal, because I think a lot of people would be interested in seeing that, and do kind of the same thing, only it'll just happen faster. Okay, that didn't take long, did it? Okay, our contract is done. So we want to set our wheat farms back to automatic. And we can copy and paste. And I think I could even paste over here. But it might go to the other warehouse. So I'm going to set this one to automatic. And then copy paste it. Okay, so now we're back into our normal business. Notice how everything got shut down because we had that wheat contract, but we got our wheat contract done, made some money on that, and started building up our influence in Clearview, which will be nice, which, will help us a little bit. And notice they had summer clothes, so we could do some stuff with summer clothes in Clearview. Although the building is going to be, it's a little tight there. Oh, you know what? I did say I would do one with some logistics in it, with some shipments. Well, we've already got one going here with this waffles, kind of, sort of. Yeah, I'll probably do that on the normal mode and show you how that works. But anyway, I hope that was helpful to you. I mean, this is just kind of finishing off what we started, what we said we would start. So again, to review, in this startup difficulty, which is nearly as difficult as you can make the game, your profit margins are very low because your price is lower and your cost of operations are higher. So, that being said, you have to be very careful how you start. You can go bankrupt quickly and easily with this kind of a setup. But we started with a tier 2 dough. And the only reason we didn't go straight to tier 3 was because the combination of the cost of the buildings and the cost of the research to get us the ability to make these waffles was too much. So we started with the dough. We made money on our dough. And it kept us going, and we had a couple of contracts that helped us out. We were very careful not to take bad contracts that could kill us. And then eventually at one point our startup loan started coming in where we had to start repaying it. And that was when we saw that the dough factory wasn't enough. And that's when we had to go and do our loan. And it was time anyway. We would have done it anyway. So we got our dough factory, our loan rather, a big loan because we'd built up a goodwill with Sun City, good influence in Sun City, got a good rate and got a big loan and fired off this waffle business. Then as soon as we had the money again, which didn't take long, we fired off this waffle business, and now we had all our waffles, and we also added to the dough, so it was 100%. So we're getting close to, really close to 100% of the demand fulfilled in Sun City for waffles were at a real high price and dough at a decent price. And then we went up here to Buffalo Gap, where there's another diner, and they take berry pies, which are good high price items, and we bought the rights to build in Buffalo Gap, did our research for berry pies, and our waffle research covered most of everything we needed. We got our berry pie research, set up 2 berry pie areas, and once this wheat starts firing back up again, these will turn green, and we'll have 2 really good pie operations up in Buffalo Gap, 2 great waffle operations down in Sun City Center, our little sentimental dough business down here as well, and we are printing money. At this point, we could go any way we want. We could build brandy and barley whiskey in both Sun City and Buffalo Gap. And by the way, yes, that is what I would do. If I keep going with this one, that is what I'd do next. I would put brandy and barley whiskey in both of these in Sun City and brandy and barley whiskey in Buffalo Gap. And that would really end up being 1, 2, probably 4 more little pods like this up here in Buffalo Gap, and 4 more pods in Sun City where they will fit. And then at that point, then we would have to think about expanding. So I probably will come back and play this again, because there's other things to learn about what we could do, about how we want to expand, how we would set up a long distance business, and how that works, how to use trains in the game. Trains are very effective in this game. This is not a train game by any stretch, but trains are very effective. So anyway, there we go. I think we're in great shape here. This is a good place to stop. So hopefully you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Rise of Industry video. Thank you.